Welcome to the Oskar Quentin Debate Live, where I talk to people on TikTok Live about politics. The prompt today, the fraud is in the White House. The prompt doesn't matter. I feel like we talk about the prompt in like 5% of the episodes, something like that. It just gets people to stop scrolling on TikTok Live and hop in. How's everybody doing? What's today? Wednesday? I should know what day it is. I have a gig tonight. Come to my gig. Go to my Instagram. Look at my story. I have a gig tonight. I don't know who I'm saying that to. This is probably going to be posted to YouTube. Too late for that to matter. But I also don't know how much I should promote gigs I do on this show because I don't know who's going to show up. But I am a musician. That is why I got on the internet in the first place. Anyway, I'm hoping we can get some fresh topics today. I think I'm going to try to push for some fresh topics because I review the episodes and there's always. Never mind. We're going to start right away with pinesaw. Let's see if we hit the ground running. How old are you?
23.
You a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Why?
That's the reason that the reason right there.
What reason?
Why?
Why? What is your reason?
Because I'm not a soy boy.
Okay. Why would a soy boy not support Trump, but somebody who's not a soy boy support Trump? Why does that make sense?
Well, I don't need glasses to see 30 yards in front of me.
Okay. What does that have to do with your political opinions?
I'm ready for active combat.
Cool. What does that have to do with your political opinions?
I want to meet people of a vibrant, exotic, and stimulating culture and kill them. I want to be the first kid on my block with a confirmed kill.
Okay, so you're just like a monstrous sociopath, and that's why you support Trump?
No.
Okay, then I'm just going to ask for you to explain further, because so far I think you're a monstrous sociopath.
Why?
Because of the thing that you just said. I think the fact that you're excited about traveling the world and killing the people that you find there, I think that that's really reprehensible. I think you know that. I think you're trolling. But it is good for the show for people like you.
What kind of mindset do you think you need to have for war?
I'm not interested in talking about a mindset that's necessary for war. I'm interested in talking about the mindset that's necessary for voting for Trump. And you're saying that it is an urge to kill innocent people the world over.
We're going to suppress Iran and drive them forth back to where the caves and the dungeons they came from.
Yeah, I know you're trolling, like the chat's like trying to point out to me like I don't know, but like what are you trying to accomplish by calling into my show? Are you trying to make Trump look bad?
No.
What are you doing? What is this?
If me and you were locked in a room together and we both had 6-inch karambits, okay, I know which one of us are coming out.
Again, like, I'm not interested in that. I really am interested in what exactly it is you're doing. Like, is this just I know you're just fucking around and having fun, but, like, do you have morals? Do you care about politics? Like, or is this all just a game where you get to, like, enjoy the fact that there's a lot of suffering happening in the world because of what Trump is doing?
You know, at the end of the day, bro, It's happening. You're not ready for it, right? You're not ready. You're just not.
What does that
mean?
You're
just not.
Dude?
Well, can you? Are you able to fire effectively on a target that's 100 meters downrange?
I'm just not interested in ad hominem attacks. You don't know anything about me. You don't know how I would function in an emergency. Some of my followers do know how I function in an emergency because there is some footage of that out there. I doubt you're interested in watching it, and I don't really care. I want to know why you called into my show. I want to know why you're deciding to spend your precious time on Earth talking to me right now. Like, I want to understand.
Why don't you tell me about it? Why don't you tell me about it?
I can't tell you about you.
Courageous actions.
No, I don't care. It's not important. I want to know your political opinions.
Okay. Yeah, Trump is the GOAT. I mean, Kamala's fucking evil. Hillary's a predator. Bill Clinton's
you're gonna get a misinformation flag for saying unfounded things. Bill Clinton might be
unfounded things, but Bill Clinton is on the Epstein's list.
Bill Clinton might be a predator. I'll give you that one. I don't think you should make accusations about Hillary Clinton. That's just a TikTok TOS thing. You're like, I don't care what you say on my show.
So Hillary Clinton,
but you might get a misinformation flag for saying those things because it's not super well founded. I think that if the Clintons are guilty of anything and that's shown in the Epstein files, they should go to jail. But it'd be really convenient if Trump would release the Epstein files as he's supposed to, according to the law, so that then we could lock them up if they're, in there, shown to be doing anything wrong.
Yeah, but we need to get rid of Iran, though. That's the first and foremost stance of my argument.
Do we need to get rid of North Korea?
We need to destabilize North Korea from the inside. I think I'm the man for the job.
Yeah, because you're so tough or whatever, you're just going to take down a dictatorial regime?
Well, here's the thing. If I was there when that lady got stabbed on that train, on that subway, I would have intervened.
There's this thing happening where no matter what I say, you just kind of move on to a different topic. Like, I tried to bring up North Korea, which was a little bit of a pivot because I wanted to understand your feelings about nuclear armament.
Well, I like that pivot. I like the pivot of North Korea. So North Korea, my father fought in the Korean War.
Okay.
He served in the 14th African Regiment. There were 14 African guys. They just walked around with Browning machine guns and just, cut Koreans in half. And that was what they did.
Okay, so you think war is neat because of all the people dying, right?
I think it's neat because it brings stability.
Okay, dude, I am going to move on if you don't give me something. Like, you're reprehensible, you're trolling. Like, I get you're doing a bit, but it's not even an entertaining bit. Like, this is, at the end of the day, an entertainment program that people will stay and watch if you're entertaining. You're not even succeeding at that. You going to give me something to talk to you about, or are we going to move on?
Do you think that war is essential?
No.
That's ignorance. You're ignorant.
Okay. I don't think you're going to make a good argument for that.
Do you think if women ran the world, there would be no wars?
Again, you're just doing the same, like, sort of gish galloping of, like, just moving on from one offensive thing to another. Like, you said something silly about war, and now you said something silly about women to get me upset about your thoughts on women. And, like, I have a large enough attention span, like a big enough mental cutting board that I can keep track of the things that you're saying. You're not really, like, overwhelming me in the way that I think that you're trying to. But again, I'm not really interested in having a conversation where every sentence that we say is about a different thing. Nobody wants to fucking listen to it. You've got 30 seconds to show that you deserve to stay on my show, even if it is just for entertainment value.
Do you support Dean Withers?
Sure. And your teacup now? You've left the app? Like, you're
Elamishi, you're an old woman, bro. I don't want to hear that stuff from you.
Once again, every single thing. It's like every time you open your mouth, you think it's the first sentence in the conversation. You have no idea.
How many old dried up punani we got in the comments section?
All right, so there's pinesaw. That's a Trump supporter. That's the type of people who are just like in it for the meme. I don't even think I'm going to count that as a call. We're going to talk to Wild Randy and see if he is capable of having a conversation that is discernibly about anything at all. Hello, Wild Randy. How old are you?
25.
20 what?
25.
25. You're a Trump supporter?
Yeah. Wait, the cameras are kind of messed up. I don't know if you want to fix that.
The cameras are kind of messed up? What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm seeing something funny.
I'm not. People in the chat can let me know if they're seeing something funny. Am I the funny thing? Is that the dig?
You look very gay. You look very gay. Are you gay?
If you want to talk privately, you can message me and we can decide if we want to go on a date, but I'd like to talk about politics first.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of into you. Like, I'm very gay and I'm very into you. I'm very
I just don't really date on the show. So I'm just, anyway.
Well, you could start.
Yeah, I don't like the people that I meet on the show, so I date people who I meet elsewhere. Also, I usually date women.
You don't like people you meet on the show? You don't like
personally, yeah. Yeah, most of the people I meet on the show are reprehensible.
Well, that's pretty fucking annoying.
And I generally date women. What?
What do you think about total nigger death?
Oh, goodbye. Slur and run, Wild Randy. So here we are. And what day is it? Wednesday? School's in session. Why is it only kids calling in? All right. What's going on in the chat? I didn't get to say hi to anybody because we hit the ground running with the trolls. But maybe it's good to get viewership in here if we have some entertaining people. That's who's left, people. The people who want to call in and support Trump are just here to use my platform to say the N-word. Did you here to use my platform to glorify war? Is school out for summer? Not quite, I don't think. Not primary school anyway. Ravens Blossom, one of our mods, says, and a friend of mine in real life and a friend of the show, says, unfortunately, MAGA are adult children. Yeah, we learned that on this show, don't we? And we learned that like, I mean, people ask me why I talk to such people, why I bother with those people, why I keep them on the show as long as I do, why I don't mute people who talk over me. And at the end of the day, it literally just is like, this is a person who calls into my show. This is what they're like. I just want to show it off, that the fact that like the remaining Trump supporters, in the short time I have been doing debate lives, I have almost like run out of reasonable people to talk to. It's just a bunch of bigots. We're going to talk to Mikey, the creator, who I spoke to the other day, but I don't remember who he is, so hopefully he'll remind me. Either way, I got to find out how old he is. Mikey, how old are you? Oh, he's having trouble disconnecting. Go to my link tree in the bio and follow me on other platforms. Mikey, how old are you?
By the way, truck is stuck right now trying to pull off. We're right in front of everybody.
Okay, I can hear your driver, I can hear car noises, and I can hear you, and that's too much. So can you call back when you're not in a car? I'm gonna let him go. We're gonna talk to 386 Pete. Maybe we'll have a serious call after 10 minutes of nonsense. Pete, how old are you?
I'm 28.
You're a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think it's the right thing for the country.
I think that it's really, really important that regardless of what party they are and what their policy positions are and what their campaign promises are, that the President of the United States obeys the Constitution. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to talk about the fact that I don't think that Trump follows the Constitution.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is he not following?
Well, it's quite a large number of things. I could give some examples. He, for one thing, tends to do this thing where he files executive orders that offer his interpretation of the Constitution. He did that with the 14th Amendment, I think is a particularly noteworthy example, especially considering he literally quoted the Constitution in an executive order offering his interpretation of it. Are you aware, according to the Constitution, who it is who is supposed to interpret the Constitution?
No.
Okay. According to the Constitution, it's only the Supreme Court that can interpret what the Constitution means. Are you aware of, according to the Constitution, whose job it is to change the Constitution or update it with amendments?
No, I don't follow that stuff.
Okay. So, sounds to me like maybe you don't quite understand some of the rules of American politics. Do you know what the three branches of the government are?
Three branches of the government.
Yeah. The government's divided.
Go ahead.
The government is divided into three branches. They have different rules and responsibilities, and it's actually one of the most important things about how our government is structured, that the three of them keep each other in check. So if one of them does something bad, the other two are supposed to step in some way. Are you aware of that system at all?
Well, I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you which is what or what is which or... Yeah, so I guess what I would urge for you to do is probably learn about how those rules work, because you said that you think that Trump is doing a good job, but he's the president, and it doesn't sound to me like you know what the president's job is at all. Well, isn't his job to govern?
Well, you could say that about anybody in any of the three branches of the government, and the president only works at one of them. So when I ask, what is the job of the president, you could say it's to govern. He's the seat of the executive branch. That's one of the three branches. But it doesn't really get to the main issue that I have, which is that he's overstepping his authority to govern. He's not allowed to govern in any way he wants. You understand that, right? Well, he's the president. I mean, he's the executive branch. So we have a different word. We have a different word if a person who's in charge of a country, like governing it, if whoever has that job, if they are allowed to do whatever they want. Do you know the word we use? It's not president. What word do we use? Dictator. Oh, so you think he's a dictator? Well, I didn't say that. I just said that a leader of a country who is allowed to do whatever they want in their leadership of the country without any... What do you want him to do? I want him to obey the rules that are in the Constitution. That's the most important thing. That covers a lot of my issues with him. Not all of them, but I'm not really here to talk about minor disagreements of policy. I just think he's breaking the rules. I don't think he's doing a good job being president. We actually have rules about what the other branches are supposed to do, and Congress is supposed to impeach him if he does these sorts of things. Again, I'm kind of just relaying to you what the rules in the Constitution are.
What impeachable offense has he committed, or what?
Trying to alter the Constitution, whether by changing its interpretation or negating language that exists in it already, that's the job of Congress or the judicial branch, Congress or the Supreme Court. Those are the other two branches. He's not allowed to do that, and if he tries to, he should be impeached for overstepping his authority.
So did you say he didn't try it, or he tried it?
He did file this executive order. It hasn't been legislated on by the Supreme Court. It's been a year, but Congress, the other branches are kind of dropping the ball on keeping him in check, which is another thing I'm very upset about that's related. But again, I just feel like I need to explain to you in the most basic sense, what all's going on. So it doesn't sound to me like you know what's going on in American government.
Well, what has he interpreted and the Constitution?
Well, I'll give you one specific example, but I always have to clarify. It's not this one little teeny thing I'm upset about. There are dozens of examples like this, but this is one that I like to focus on because it's a popular story that a lot of people know about, which is that he filed an executive order. The executive order was order number 14160, and in that order, he quoted the 14th Amendment. Are you aware of the 14th Amendment? It relates to birthright citizenship.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
Okay, so what the 14th Amendment was originally made to make sure after slavery that children of freed slaves, were citizens, because they were debating at the time whether it counted to be born in America and get your birthright citizenship if your parents weren't proper citizens, which they, for slaves, said, no, that doesn't matter. If you're born here, you're a citizen. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand what the amendment says?
Well, when you talk about birthright citizenship, are you referring this to illegal aliens?
We are going to get there, but I am just teaching you some of the history because it doesn't sound like you are aware of this stuff. So right now we're still in the 1800s. We're talking about after slavery. We did the 14th Amendment. I think I got the year right on that. I'm pretty sure it was after the war. But the point is, are the children of Africans.
I would say if you're, I would say if you're in this country and you're not a citizen, and you have a child, that child is not a citizen either. So
you can have that opinion. That's fine. You are entitled to that opinion. But what I am telling you,
that's not necessarily an opinion. That's the way it is.
It is not. It's actually specifically not that way. That's what the 14th Amendment is about. It says exactly the opposite. It says it doesn't matter who your parents are, unless, there's two exceptions, unless they are an ambassador representing another country. That would be a special case. Or if they are an invading militant, if they're a soldier in another country's army, those are the exceptions where it's all right. If you're working at the embassy and you have a kid, the kid can be the citizen of the country you're representing. Or if you're invading, you're literally here with a gun wearing a uniform and you're invading the country and you have a kid, okay, that probably shouldn't be a citizen. Those are the two exceptions. Everybody else is supposed to be a citizen just for having been born here. That's what the Constitution says, and the Supreme Court has ruled on it a couple other times. They've really shored up that while in the 1800s they were talking about African Americans, they did this wonderful thing where they generalized the language, and they said, let's not make this specific to African Americans. Let's just make sure we understand that unless you're an ambassador or an invading army, if you're not one of those two things, no matter who you are, because maybe they considered the fact that it's not always African Americans who are going to be the subject of racism and bigotry and mistreatment in this country. They protected the right for everybody. If you fell out of a vagina onto American soil, that makes you a citizen. That's what the Constitution says, with two exceptions that I covered, which I think are sensible. So regardless of your opinion, do you recognize and believe what I'm telling you, that is the law of the land? That's what it says in the Constitution, and the Supreme Court has actually ruled after the passing of that amendment, clarifying that it does in fact apply to other people than just the children of slaves.
So, I guess I'm totally confused. So you think anybody can come into this country and just have a kid and...
Well, what I'm telling you is that is precisely what the Constitution says. Yes. In the 14th Amendment.
But doesn't the Constitution say jurisdiction thereof?
Mm-hmm.
You're missing that point.
Yes,
exactly.
And
the
illegal
country
immigrant,
they came from.
That's not
jurisdiction
what that's not what jurisdiction is. No. So let me give you an example.
Oh crap.
Okay. No, I want to explain it. So I want to make sure you understand.
You're not going to convince me. It says jurisdiction thereof.
Okay. Can we talk about what that means?
Yeah, the jurisdiction thereof.
Okay,
where the illegal alien came from.
I don't want you to I'm not trying to upset you. I'm not trying to twist any words. I just want to
I'm not upset.
Okay, that's good. I just really want to zoom in on this jurisdiction thing. Can I give you an example that has nothing to do with the Constitution or illegal immigrants or anything? Just so we can talk about what jurisdiction means?
Go ahead.
So if a tourist comes to this country, you can pick a country they're from, doesn't matter. Canada, Germany, England, doesn't matter. If a tourist comes here and they break the law, let's say that they're speeding or they kill somebody or they do something bad, whatever, it doesn't matter what the specific crime is. Are the police allowed to arrest them for that?
If they commit the crime on our soil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why is it that a police officer whose jurisdiction is in the United States is able to arrest a person who's from somewhere else?
What makes you think somebody that their jurisdiction is somewhere else other than this country can have a child in this country and become a citizen?
I think what you're not understanding about what jurisdiction means.
I'm understanding.
I think that you think that the jurisdiction has to do with the person from the other country. It doesn't. We're talking about the jurisdiction of the police officer, the area that they control. Jurisdiction means the region in which you have authority to make judgments. That's specifically what the word means. So the police officer is allowed to make judgments about who he arrests in his jurisdiction. He has jurisdiction over the tourist and the crimes that they commit in his jurisdiction. Does that make sense to you? Otherwise, if it didn't work that way, then you could get away with crimes if you were a tourist because the police wouldn't have jurisdiction over you. But they do, obviously.
Right, and?
When the Constitution refers to the jurisdiction thereof, they are talking about where the birth happens. If the birth happens in the jurisdiction of the United States, if the birth happens in a place where an American police officer can arrest you for committing a crime, that makes you an American citizen. That is what the 14th Amendment says.
I see how you twist it.
I don't really. If you think I'm twisting it, I really want to give you an opportunity to explain why, because I don't get it.
I know you guys want foreigners in here.
It's not about what I want. Right now, we're not talking about my opinions.
Into this country.
We're not talking about our opinions, and we're not talking about illegal immigration. I would love to get to that, but we really need to just understand what it does, in fact, say in the Constitution before we get to any of this. Because I'm not talking about my opinions. I'm not talking about your opinions. I'm not talking about recent immigration. The reason we got to this topic is because I brought up the fact that Donald Trump is filing executive orders that change this interpretation, and he's just simply not allowed to do that. Even if you think it's good, his interpretation.
Is there anything Trump could do that you Democrats would approve of?
Operation Warp Speed during his first term was an amazing success. It was a really good program, and I'm very, very glad he did it. So yes is the answer to your question. This doesn't happen to be one of them, and I would really like to stay on the fact that it sounds like you don't like the Fourth Amendment, which is okay. The First Amendment protects your right to not like the 14th Amendment. That's fine. But if you want the 14th Amendment to be different, it's not the president's job to change it. We can't change it. That's not how the Constitution works. The only thing we can do is add a new amendment that cancels it out. And if you want that, then you need to write your congressperson. That's their job, not Trump's. He's not allowed. It's against the rules for the safety of democracy because we don't want to give too much power to one person. That's how we end up with a dictatorship. Yeah, we don't want that. That's how the country's designed.
We are not a democracy, bud.
We're a representative democratic republic.
We are not.
Okay.
Nope. You're wrong. 100% wrong. You can't even find that word anywhere in the Constitution.
Well, the Constitution describes the rules, and the political scientists look at the rules of countries and give them labels. And if a political scientist reads the Constitution and is asked what type of system is this, they'll say, oh, this is one of those democratic representative republics, which is a type of democracy.
Find the word democracy in the Constitution.
If I say I'm going to punch you in the face, can you find the word threat in that sentence?
That depends on...
Is the word threat in the sentence, I'm going to punch you in the face?
No.
Okay.
What are you trying... Where are you...
Well, then it must not be a threat, right?
What?
It's not a threat. It doesn't say the word threat in it, right? According to your reasoning?
It has nothing to do with what I was saying.
Well, you said that because the word isn't in the Constitution, which it might be. I don't actually know off the top of my head. But even if it isn't, that doesn't mean that it's not a democracy, because I don't have to put the word threat in a sentence to make that sentence a threat.
All democracies end up in tyranny.
You're moving on to other things. Well, there are some that have, and there are some that haven't. Except for all of the ones that haven't, because there's a ton on the planet. You can argue that they will in the future, but there are many that haven't. And I think we're moving on to other things. Like I really want to zoom in on the fact that, like, the president's just not allowed to change what it says in the Constitution. That's where we started.
I want to talk about Trump.
I'm not even talking about Trump. I'm talking about whoever the U.S. president is. They're not allowed to change the Constitution. No U.S. president is allowed to do that. It's not whatever. It's the rules of the country. Do you believe in the rules of the country? Are you like a patriot? Do you like believe in rule of law?
Of course I do.
Okay, because I'm trying to explain to you how
you Democrats don't.
I'm trying to explain to you how the law works.
All of a sudden, when the
You get muted if you leave the app. You got to stay in the app to keep talking to me. You're muted right now. Please come back. You need to get back into TikTok and then unmute yourself. There you go. Oh, no, come back. Come on. There's a reason I really focus on not talking about Trump specifically. I am just talking about the rules. And I want to be perfectly clear to you that any politician who breaks these rules should lose their job. I'm not talking about parties. I'm just talking about... I mean, you said you believe rule of law, but you're being very disrespectful of what our rule of law is in this conversation. I also don't know what you're doing. You've left the app and you're muted, so I'm kind of just yapping at you. But I would like to keep talking to you about this. I don't know if... Oh, he left. Okay. Interesting conversation. I genuinely think that was an interesting conversation. We're going to see if Mikey the Creator is not in a car anymore, but I am just going to first say, everybody, that if you enjoyed that conversation, if you felt that was productive, I felt that was frankly one of the more productive conversations I've had on the show. He just ran when he kind of realized he didn't know what he was talking about. I think that's what happened. If you're into that sort of thing, you can go to the link tree in my bio and follow me on the other platforms, and that helps me a lot. It doesn't cost you a dime. And if you have a dime that you want to spare, you can also just like send it to my Venmo, my Cash App, my Buy Me a Coffee, or my Patreon, and that like makes it so that I can eat and pay rent. I'm really into doing those things. Landlords love it when I pay the rent. So just trying to be able to do that while doing the show every day, which is a little hard. So if you want to help out with that, those are the ways. We're going to talk to Mikey the Creator again, who was in a car the last time he tried to call in a few minutes ago. So we're going to see if we can hear him now. How old are you?
23.
23. Okay. You support Trump?
No. But I have something to say though. Sure. Real quick before I let you go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into politics, but you know, with this, the government in the United States, as a president, you're supposed to follow rules and different like regulations. You're not supposed to go past them. You're supposed to abide by them, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you go, but I mean, obviously, I agree, and I think that. I hope that previous caller calls back in. I really do want to continue that conversation because I don't know. Maybe it's pompous of me to suggest, but I kind of feel like I can tell when I'm getting through to somebody, and I think that he was listening to what I was saying. I think he's probably researching the 14th Amendment right now. I hope. But there's nobody in the queue. So I will ask everybody to get double tapping away on the screen so we can get pushed out on that For You page and we can get some new callers in, because I love a new caller. That was a new caller, and we got to try a new angle on it. It sounds like that guy believed in rule of law but didn't really understand it. And I'm willing to be compassionate when that's somebody's situation. I'm not going to yell at somebody who just like totally doesn't understand what they think they believe in. It's upsetting to me. It bothers me that there are so many people like that. But that's somebody who can be saved. That's somebody who can like see reason, I think. Even if they need to have their hand held through it. Deport Trump to Israel is the next username in the queue. I assume this is a friendly, but we've got nobody in the queue, so we'll see what he wants to say. And I'll remind everybody, keep double tapping away on the screen so we can get somebody in here. How old are you?
Hey, I'm 27.
Yeah, judging by the username, are you a friendly?
Yeah, but I had a question. I don't know if you do questions.
I'll give you you can ask your question and then I'm going to kick you and answer it, but just because it makes it more likely for me to get a caller in here. But go ahead, you got 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I was wondering, what do you think about like both parties, like the Democrats being like the good guy and like a good guy, bad guy type, or good cop, bad cop type scenario where it's like both parties rock the boat when it's their turn, but then once the one party rocks the boat too much to one side, the other one steps in. And I know Democrats overall do much more good overall, but I'm kind of curious, like, do you think that it's like both are legitimate parties, or do you think that both are kind of bought out by corporations to some extent?
Interesting question. I will, if we rewind 20 years, I could answer the question I might, if I was sitting in the political context of 20 years ago, and I could say, as much as I disagree with those Republicans, as much as I think that they have regressive ideologies, as much, I do think discourse is important, and I think it's important to win people over, and I can see some of that rock the boat value where there's no debate to be had if everybody's on the same team, which is why I don't allow friendlies on the show for very long until the end of the show when I'm like done collecting viewership, because to get people to watch and be interested in this stuff, there needs to be some opposition. I see that value, but you said something in your question where you said that if one side rocks the boat too far to one side, then the other team can rock it back. And we have rules in this country that we're supposed to follow to prevent the boat from capsizing. And we're now in a situation where the boat is basically laying on its side and sinking because one side has had so much control over how the boat gets rocked without any checked control from anybody, without any help to fix the situation, that we're now in a very dangerous situation. So I think I can like point towards the silver lining of discourse, obviously, given what I'm sitting here doing. But overall, it's bad, what's going on. So no, I don't think that the Republicans are a legitimate party right now. I think the fact that they so regularly vote in favor of Trump doing what I was explaining to the previous caller, that they, all these times they're supposed to check the power of the president and they just refuse to. They just, I don't know, I just think it's constitutional. I don't think that's a high crime and misdemeanor. They just make up, even though anybody with like a third grade reading level can look at the law and look at what Trump did and know that it's illegal and wrong and a problem. So yeah, I think that being the case, I don't really think that's fair to say about the current partisan situation in America. White Monster is in the queue. Oh, there's a picture of white can of Monster in his profile picture, but I hope that's not what he means by White Monster. You guys get what I'm saying. How old are you?
36. Why do you guys immediately go to race? Sad.
Forgive me for profiling, but when somebody's username is White Monster, it's a little, I mean, I'm gonna have some assumptions when you come. I'd love for you to prove those assumptions wrong, but are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I voted for Trump. I mean, do you think that it's right for police to do the same thing that you just did to me? To black people?
No, I think that police have a very different standard for whether or not it's okay to profile versus me on my.
But you just did exactly what they do, don't you?
I'm not a police officer. I'm running a show where I talk to people. So yeah.
Wouldn't you agree that that's wrong?
Do you have the right to be on my show?
I have the right to do whatever I want.
No, you don't. You don't have the right to do whatever you want. You don't have the right to be on my show.
You have the right to kick me.
I could, because you don't have the right to be here.
Request up.
Right, but you don't have the right to stay. No, you don't. Because because I could kick you. I have the right to allow you here. You don't.
Do I have the right to do TikTok live, sir?
No, it's a privilege. It can be taken away by me or by.
Right.
It's not a right.
Has it been taken from me?
This isn't a silly semantic argument. It hasn't been taken. It's a privilege, not a right.
Because you're pivoting off the fact that you profiled me. So
you asked me how it's different, and I'm explaining it to you how it's different. This show is a privilege, and walking down the street is a right. So the police officer can't profile you to stop you from walking down the street, but I can do whatever the hell I want to get you off my show. It's a private show.
Right. Again, you profiled me. That's fine. Let's move on. You profiled me.
I profiled you by... Actually, I didn't, because you chose your username. It would be profiling if you hadn't chosen that about yours.
Monster, dude. You have brain rot and racism in your head.
It's not. I made my defense for the fact that it's not okay for a police officer to profile, but it is okay for me to profile running a private show. But I'm not even profiling, because for it to be profiling, I would argue that it has to be a detail about yourself that you didn't choose, but you chose the username. It's not profiling, it's judgment.
You're coping right now. It's okay. You're racist. I get it.
I don't. You know what? If you want to make an argument for the fact that I'm racist, please do that right now.
I mean, you already showed that you are, considering the fact that you would say that it's some white supremacist.
Summarize the way in which I've demonstrated that I'm racist.
I don't have to. You made yourself look like an idiot.
I'm asking you to. It's my debate show. I'm giving you the floor to continue making me look bad. Please explain. I don't understand how I look bad, how I look racist.
How would White Monster be anything else but a can of White Monster?
I think you're just like rage baiting, and you wanted me to notice that so that we could talk about this instead of anything important.
Democracy right now. Can you tell me how?
I already answered that, and you didn't respond to anything I said. So I am going to move on unless you want to actually talk about something substantive.
Yeah, let's move on. You're a racist and you profile. Let's move on.
Okay, you're an 11-foot tall giraffe. Let's move on. See how that doesn't work? See how it doesn't make it true? Got a topic?
Let's talk about the idiocracy you have written on your little sign there, your rage bait. Let's talk about that. So what fraud are you talking about?
The president does all sorts of fraud. Do you want me to just pick an example?
Has he been charged with fraud?
That's not what I said. I didn't say he'd been charged with fraud.
Well, your opinion doesn't matter.
Well, actually, yes, because he is a convicted felon for 34 counts of crimes that I would argue were types of fraud. So, yes, actually. We can talk about that. We'll talk about his 34 counts. Right? He is a fraudster.
He was already found guilty of that, correct?
Yeah, charged and convicted. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So what fraud is he guilty of now?
Well, okay, are we talking about the 34 counts of fraud, or are we talking about the fraud he's doing in the White House?
He already won the election on that, so, like, we can move past that. He was already found guilty. He was convicted, right?
I don't have to move that. I have the right to not move past that. I have the First Amendment right to not move past that. I'm very upset about that. I don't think we should allow people to be president with their
now. Oh, so you're talking about the 34 counts?
I think the $1.776 billion slush fund for the IRS to protect his associates. I think that was flagrantly illegal and fraudulent for him to do. He sued himself.
He won a lawsuit, right?
He, as president, sued his own IRS and settled outside of court without a judge's signature. Flagrantly, ridiculously corrupt, illegal, and fraudulent. I recommend you go watch Legal Eagle's video on how illegal it is. It's very illegal.
I don't think I want to watch some TikTok scholar talk about why he thinks it's illegal.
Okay, let's try. Okay, yeah. Well, if you're just not going to believe what a lawyer says, then I don't know why you're going to believe
what a lawyer says. A lawyer say a lot of things, man.
Okay, who do you believe?
Did the Supreme Court find it to be illegal?
If you're just going to fall back, this happened last week, dude. If you're just going to fall back,
so it's illegal, right?
I have a question, which is that if you're just going to fall back to
how could you just blatantly say it's illegal?
I have a question. I explained how I think that it's flagrantly illegal.
Right, and some lawyer on TikTok. I got it.
I have a question. My question is, if you're just going to fall back on not believing what somebody tells you about the law, how is it that we're going to have a conversation about anything? I bet I could show you the language of the law and you wouldn't care. It wouldn't matter to you.
Well, the point is, you're interpreting it based upon some TikTok scholar lawyer's opinion on what he thinks may or may not be illegal.
You're talking to a TikTok scholar. Do you think it's an insult? Like, I happen to be on TikTok because it's a big platform.
You're saying it's illegal, but you have no credibility whatsoever.
I reference somebody who has tremendous credibility.
No, they do not.
I disagree about that.
How does that person have any credibility?
We don't need to talk about just him. Virtually everybody who understands the law can read it and see that it's upset, and you're just going to deny it at every step of the way. Yeah, it's very clearly illegal, the things that he's doing.
So is that only for January 6th people? Yes or no?
No, it's for any associates of Trump. It's very vague. They made the language very...
Any associates of Trump, that's what the language says?
One of the ways in which it was illegal is that the benefits of this slush fund are available to a vague group of people that Trump himself gets to define, because he is going to pick the 5 board members that determine who...
Right, and there only 3 need to be present.
Did I misspeak? It's 5. If I said a number other than 5, it's literally that I misspoke.
Affiliation involved either.
They are selected by Trump. I would say that's a party affiliation. You're just trying to semantics your way out of this, but it's not going to work on you, dude. Like
Is it only for January 6th?
I already answered that.
Yeah, and the answer is no.
The answer is that it's for whoever Trump wants because he gets to select the 5 board members who determine.
Whoever the DOJ.
Please let me. Okay. Please, no. You need to let me finish my answer. Like, do you think you're going to look good to the audience? Do you think you're being convincing of the audience if you don't let me finish my answer?
I think that you're bending the truth, sir.
I'm trying to explain to you how Trump's fund, $1.776 billion slush fund, works, and you're not letting me.
Bend the truth for your audience.
Okay, I'm just going to explain it again, and if you interrupt me, I'm just going to keep trying. Trump gets to appoint 5 board members whose job it is to determine how that money gets paid out to whom for what. And because he has complete control to change those people at any time, fire them for any reason, disagree with what they do, I would argue that in terms of where the power lies, Trump has the power to spend that money however he wants, which means that he sued his own IRS, settled outside of court, and got $1.776 billion to do whatever he pleases with. And that is flagrantly illegal. It is flagrantly an abuse of his power as president. Yes, it is. There's no oversight. The president isn't allowed to decide how to spend taxpayer money, and that is taxpayer money. Biden tried to use taxpayer money to forgive student loans, and the Supreme Court shot it down. Why don't you think that the Supreme Court should shoot this down?
Because this is a lawsuit that he won. Prove that it's illegal.
It's not a lawsuit that he won. They settled outside of court. A judge never saw it. That's
a lawsuit, is it not?
He withdrew the lawsuit and then privately made this deal with the IRS. Right. There was no lawsuit. Right. That's not what it was an out of court settlement. It was an out of court settlement. That's no. Win is the wrong word.
Pleases.
There needs to be a judge. There needs to be a trial. The lawsuit needs to happen for him to win the lawsuit, and that didn't happen.
No. Show me where. Show me where it says that needs that. It requires that. Show me.
To win a lawsuit, you need to pursue the lawsuit.
A settlement.
If you withdraw a lawsuit, there is no lawsuit.
Not a lawsuit, a settlement. He won a settlement. Prove your claim that you need those things.
You're using the word win. You're asserting that he won something. The burden is on you, sir.
Did he get a settlement?
He made an agreement outside of court, and
is it a settlement?
Yeah, in like common term, but he didn't win anything.
Yes. No, he didn't win anything. He settled.
I'm glad you agree that he didn't win anything. He settled with himself, though. He had power over both sides.
It wasn't himself. It was the IRS.
Interrupting
during the Biden administration.
Sir, I'm not going to let you be on my show if you don't let me talk.
What, if I cook you?
I don't think you're cooking me. I think you're cooking yourself by being afraid of hearing my answers to these questions because clearly
you're just rambling nonsense to them. You're rambling nonsense.
I think it makes you look bad to the audience if you can't comprehend my answers.
Are you capable of listening?
Yep, I'm doing a fine job listening.
He got a settlement, correct?
You keep asking the same questions. I'm not going to answer questions I've already answered.
And it was due to the DOJ during the Biden administration's improper, I would say, charging against people in January 6th and otherwise, correct?
No, that's not what it was about at all.
That's what the slush fund's for, though.
Yeah, which is why it's so corrupt. Right. Why does he have a slush fund for that when the IRS is involved with January 6th?
Why did the Biden DOJ wrongfully go after Trump?
Answer my question. Answer my question. Why is it okay for the slush fund to be for the January 6th rioters, and we'll call them so that I don't have to argue with you about what they're called? Why is it okay for the money to be spent on that when the lawsuit originally that was withdrawn, not won, had to do with Trump and the IRS? Why is that acceptable?
He could use that money for whatever he pleases.
No, he can't. No, it's the American people's money.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. He had power in both sides.
Did he win the settlement?
No.
You can't win taxpayer settlement money.
He didn't win anything. He never went to court.
Did he get a settlement?
He stopped saying he won, and the settlement was arranged by two parties that he was a party to both sides of. He gave himself the money. Yeah, it's very illegal what he did.
It's not.
The president is not. The president is not allowed to take.
You cannot just say it's illegal. It's illegal, guys.
I've explained to you how it's illegal.
It's illegal. I've explained how it's illegal. Trust me, bro.
It's not trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
I'm gonna move on if you don't have something. If you don't,
trust me, bro.
I don't trust you, bro. Sorry, I know you're speaking on your own behalf. No,
that's what you're saying right now. You cannot show me any evidence that it's fucking illegal. Period.
I think that you understand perfectly well that I'm right. You're just being disingenuous because
no, I don't. I think that you're an idiot.
I think you're threatened by what I do on my show, and you don't like people seeing that
you.
Why did you call in? Because you clearly do understand what I'm talking about, and you're just being disingenuous. I'm not stupid enough.
No,
to think
you're being
disingenuous
by pretending to know the law and interpreting it for your audience. Okay, there's nothing illegal about what he did, and then until you fucking realize otherwise, you can keep crying about this for the next year until it fucking sees a court case, which it never will.
I'm going to keep talking about it. I have the right,
and it never will see.
I have the right to keep talking about it on my show, and you don't. Goodbye, white monster. Everybody, go to the link tree in my bio and support me on the other platforms if you want to see conversations like that one, and let me know in the chat if that guest totally cooked me because he got kicked for not participating in the conversation in any function way. Was it a slur and run? Did he say a slur? I didn't catch it. I was just done talking to him. Just gonna have a quick peek at the Venmo because it doesn't send me notifications. All right, we're gonna talk to one of my favorite regular callers. You mute, you lose, and we're gonna see if for the 5th or 6th time in a row the same thing happens, which is that I do not mute him, and he runs. So I will remind you, mute, you lose, as we start the conversation, that if you leave, you lose. How old are you again?
I'm 32.
Are you driving a car?
No, absolutely not.
What's that noise?
It's the ACM inside of a building.
I believe you. I believe you. What are we talking about today? You mute, you lose. And how old are you again? Sorry if I just asked that.
I'm 32.
32.
So, one thing that I wanted to bring up was this person who leaked Donald Trump's tax statements. Was he arrested and faced jail time?
Don't know.
Do you know the guy's name?
I don't.
His name was Littlefoot.
Okay.
And
from the Land Before Time?
It's kind of funny, but yeah. So this guy leaked Donald Trump's tax information, which was a very big breach, right? He was a contractor for the IRS, which is a very big breach as far as the IRS goes, right? So Donald Trump had every legal basis to sue.
Do you know what according to the law the appropriate restitution for somebody who's had their tax documents leaked by the IRS is? Because it is actually on the books.
Okay, so is it IRS policy or is it federal law?
I don't know exactly where it sits, but there is a dollar figure that's associated to be the correct payout for somebody if they have their tax documents leaked by the IRS. Do you know what that dollar figure is?
I mean, it doesn't matter because it's not like, is it something that Congress wrote itself?
Like I said, I don't have.
And not only that, but
maybe one of the mods or somebody in the chat can find exactly the language.
And then not only that, but like,
do you know what the dollar figure is?
Okay, so let Oscar real quick.
I'm not going to move on until you answer the question, and
Oscar, I can tell you right now.
Do you know what that dollar figure is?
It doesn't matter what the dollar figure is.
It does, and we're going to establish. Do you know what it is, or do you not know what it is?
Okay, so Oscar, I need you to talk, right?
We're not going to move on until you tell me whether or not you know what that dollar figure is, and I will tell you what that dollar figure is if you don't know. But you do have to admit that you don't know it. I admitted some things that I don't know.
I already
said
that I didn't. Okay, Oscar, calm down. I
admitted some things that I don't know. Are you capable of that? Do you know what that dollar figure is?
I was about to tell you, Oscar. I'm about to tell you. I don't know, but it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
It is $1,000. The amount of money that Trump received in his out-of-court settlement, because he didn't even pursue the lawsuit, he gave himself, his IRS gave him 1.776 million times more than that. $1.776 billion. So what I would like for you to do is defend that is a reasonable dollar figure for this sort of settlement.
So first off, I need to see the actual law because I can guarantee you that you're taking that way out of context. Secondly, right, this is about damages as far as like his reputation and other aspects. It's not just the fact that it was leaked. It was the fact of damages and the fact that he's a political figure, the fact that he's a public figure, the fact that he's a billionaire, the fact that he has multiple businesses. This could damage a lot of other stuff, not just the fact that they just leaked it. He can also sue the government as far as damages. Not only that, but if the IRS, which if he was sitting there, right, under his DOJ, because he is the president, he has every single... Question. Wow, you don't even let me finish.
I let you go for a while. I just don't want you to move on to other stuff because I have a question.
So go ahead.
Do you think that there's any way that you're going to demonstrate to me or the people listening that there have been $1.776 billion in damages to Trump's reputation?
Absolutely.
Do you know how much Donald Trump's net worth has increased since he became president?
Okay, so this is about Donald Trump. You're changing the subject now all of a sudden. So
we're talking about the value to his empire that may have been lost by this hit to his reputation.
We were talking about taxes, and then now you're talking about how much money he's made in office. Does Donald Trump take a paycheck from being president? Yes or no?
No.
So if this was all about Donald Trump getting more money, why wouldn't he take his paycheck?
Because $400,000, which is the salary for the president of the United States, is so little money to Trump because he's a billionaire that it is literally
$400,000.
I'm not done. That's a very small.
Trump?
To Donald Trump, that's almost no money. Yes, I wasn't.
But I thought this was all about money.
I wasn't finished with my answer. Can I answer my?
I thought this was all about money.
Can I finish answering my question or answering your question? You didn't let me finish my answer.
That's 1.2 million. That's not a lot of money to a billionaire.
No, it's not. Can I finish answering the question? You didn't let me finish.
Get out of here. Your logic is so crazy, man. Hey, Oscar, you have a good day. You have a good day.
If you leave,
Oscar,
you lose. If
Oscar,
you leave, you lose.
You're doing this dishonest thing now.
I'd like to finish answering the question. I have more to say about this.
1.2 million over 4 years isn't a lot of money, but Donald Trump's in it for the money.
You called in talking about his reputation and said that his reputation took a $1.776 billion hit, and I am arguing that it was worth $1.2 million to his No, it's so good for his reputation that he chose not to.
Hey, and then Oscar, you also contradicted yourself too, because I don't think you listened
to what I just said, and I'd like to say it again. I'm not going to let you say that. I'm going to talk over you until you listen. No, we need to go back to the previous thing because you didn't listen to my answer. You asked me a question, and you're unwilling to hear my answer, which is an L for the guest because you're not even willing to let me try to cook you. No,
because you don't let me talk.
You asked me a question, and then you interrupted me while I was answering it. I'm going to continue to make attempts to answer it.
You did the same thing to me a second ago.
I'm going to try to answer your question. Mm-hmm.
Let me rebuttal this, or I'm leaving. No, and I won't debate you because
you're not rebutting my complete answer because you didn't let me finish a very.
Go ahead. I'll give you some time, and then you better let me respond.
I will do whatever I want. It is my show.
Look, you're not even being honest. You can't even let me respond.
I would like to continue answering my question. I think it's an important question. I think it gets to the crux of what we're talking about. I think it was important that you brought that up. Will you let me explain myself? Okay.
Go ahead.
I genuinely believe that the $1.2 million roughly that he would make as salary for his salary as president in 4 years is, compared to his net worth, a small enough amount of money that it was worth it for his reputation, for him to increase his reputation, the value of his reputation by saying, look, people like you lose are going to call in and say, look how generously I am, letting my salary go back to the American people. That worked on you, and that working on you and working on other people like you was worth $1.2 million to the president, because now we're having this dumb conversation instead of talking about the $1.776 billion hit to his reputation that you are claiming he's made. In the beginning of the call, you made it sound like his reputation could be measured in enormous dollar figures. Now you're saying that it can't because you're arguing that $1.2 million is so much money that he couldn't possibly be foregoing that amount of money to help his reputation. Do you see the problem?
No. Okay, so this actually works.
Were you listening?
You. Yes, I was, and your logic is just...
Restate my logic.
You said that I could talk. This is why I leave. You do not
I didn't. I said I'm going to do whatever I want because it's my show.
Okay. So once again, you don't want to debate. You just want to talk over people. Don't let them respond. This is exactly why I leave.
I just want to make sure you understand my position.
This is exactly why you guys
I want to make sure you understand my position.
I understand your position, and I'm going to actually steelman you on why you're wrong and show you how your own logic is against you.
Steelman is good.
So you're saying that I'm wrong because I said that Donald Trump, it hurt Donald Trump's reputation that could be worth billions of dollars. And you're saying that he's in it because of the money. But then when I bring up the fact that he's giving away money, you're like, that doesn't count because it, in fact, makes him look better. But here's the issue with that. This lawsuit, is he putting all this money in his pocket, or is he giving it away? You're acting like this money is going directly in his pocket for the lawsuit, which lawsuits have stipulations, right? And his stipulation is that this is going to go to the people on January 6th that were unfairly treated, that were given.
I can clarify what stipulated. That's not what's
stipulated. Let me just get out of here. This is
but that's wrong.
I can't talk. I can't.
That's not what's
stipulated. It's absolutely 100%. Yeah, bye.
That's not what's happening.
I won again.
If you leave,
another
you lose.
W.
If you leave, you lose.
Another W for you.
You lose. Can I explain to you what is happening with the money? All right, so he left. What is happening with the money is that it's going into a fund where a board of 5 members who are appointed by Trump and can be changed by Trump at any time if they make a decision that he doesn't like, can spend the money on whatever the fuck they want. So will it go to January 6ers? Probably. The law, the language of the settlement doesn't specifically stipulate that. It's just so obvious that that's what some of it's going to be spent on, that caller managed to cook themselves by demonstrating that they don't even understand the language of the settlement, and they just assumed that it was actually for that, even though we were interpreting that it was likely going to be for that. But yeah, I mean, you leave, you lose is like kicking toddlers in the face, man. I don't know why he keeps running back at me. It never works out for him. You should go to the link tree in my bio and follow me on the other platforms. You should listen to the VOD off this platform on YouTube when you want to listen to me when I'm not live. All the episodes are up there. Everything, all the L's get posted too. About once a week, I have a big L, and everybody gets to see me have egg on my face because I'm not perfect. We're going to talk to Summertime. I'm going to see if Summertime's a serious caller. Please send money to my Venmo so I can pay my rent. Anyway, Summertime, how old are you? Hello? Summertime. If you don't pick up the phone, I'm going to start advertising my Venmo even more. Please send money to my Venmo so I can get a new acoustic guitar, because my acoustic guitar is a piece of shit, and I'm bringing it to a gig tonight, which is embarrassing. No, Summertime's not here. I don't know why I gave him so much time. We got loads of people in the queue. Ash versus Evil MAGA. Let's see what that's about. How old are you?
42.
You a Trump supporter?
I am not. I
appreciate it, but the queue's very full and the show's cooking away, so please call back later if there's time. There might not be friendly time today with the way the queue is going. Today we got a healthy show. We got a super full queue. Cindy, how old are you, Cindy? Hello, Cindy. I can hear your microphone. I know you can hear me. No, we're gonna let Cindy go. Oh, hello. No, she's in the bathroom. We're gonna let her go. We're gonna talk to Fit 55, who I believe I have spoken to before. I think this actually is an opposition caller. So get double tapping away on the screen so we get a bigger audience for it. How old are you?
Accident, bro. Unless you want to keep me up here as a friendly, up to you.
No, not quite yet. Oh, it was all friendlies in the chat. I've been swindled by the request box. Get double tapping away on the screen so we can get some opposition in here. Because man, I wish You Mute You Lose would like not run away the moment there's a question he doesn't want to answer because he thought something about the settlement that was wrong, and he just wasn't willing to address the fact that he thinks that $1 billion is okay for the reputation, but he doesn't want to support my argument that $1 million is maybe okay for the president's reputation. Yeah. But once again, somebody should go tally it on the YouTube. I don't know how many times I've faced off with You Mute You Lose, but it always goes exactly that way. He always gets cornered and runs and says that, and he declares the W before he leaves, while I chant at him that if he leaves, he loses. I think it's happened, it might be 10 times. I know I had 3 videos that I posted to YouTube about him before I started posting every episode, and I know he's shown up 3 or 4 more times at least. It's got to be 7 or 8 at the very least. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, somebody's telling me to check my Cash App. That's exciting. Oh my goodness. V sent me $25 for a kick. So sorry for missing that. Was that for that'll be the day that You Mute You Lose actually gets kicked from my show, is if somebody just pays me to leave him. But V, thank you so much. Thanks for helping to keep the show profitable. I think V has donated before, and V understands that what I'm doing is pretty time consuming and labor intensive, and I'm really just trying to do a good job. So I mean, we're mid show. I can just talk to you guys for a moment. That it's really exciting that this has the growth rate that it does, and that I get to do this. And we're in this place where I am just trying to run this show in a way that keeps it going. So if you're here and you're watching, I still read my messages. I'm not that big yet. You should maybe message me on Instagram if you want it to be read quickly. But I am still taking suggestions about how we run the show. I'm trying to get an audio version of the show up on Spotify or something, because there's a lot of people who say that they just want to do audio only listening, which you can do if you have YouTube Premium, but that's the only place the show exists long form. So we're working on that stuff. I am also working on getting it live on YouTube at the same time as on TikTok. I've been doing some troubleshooting on that this week. I think I have it figured out, but I need to do another test stream. So we're gonna see about that. I installed TikTok just to watch your show. Please start streaming on YouTube so I can delete again. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys who are. I mean, it's amazing that people downloaded TikTok just to talk to me. Hoy's asking, "Oh, sick! Are we live streaming to YouTube yet?" Not yet. It's soon. In the next couple of days, I'm hoping by the weekend, the Daily Show will also be streamed over there. Epiphone says, "Love your show, but you got to deal with that window and the backlight." Oh yeah, the blind. This set of blinds is broken. I know I've kind of got like a wash light situation going. I have a work order in my apartment building to fix the blinds that are behind. I know it's washing out the flag. I'm aware, but it's broken. I can't get it to close. Anyway. Doggy says, I've come to realize that any current Trump supporters are just too dumb to understand what's wrong with, and I think he got cut off there. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to demonstrate on the show, is that, like, to be a Trump supporter, you need to be some kind of something. And it's either like a horrible, monstrous, immoral bigot, or like just a total fool, somebody who just doesn't get it. I mean, that first call we had was interesting because that guy got really defensive when anywhere it got, near Trump. But we were sitting and talking about the law, and that guy simply didn't understand the law. That's like, yeah, that's, I mean, fascinating. He didn't get too angry about the fact that he didn't understand the law, but he was getting a little defensive, and he ran. So yeah, it's I don't know. Are we doing a short show today? Is that what's happening? I don't know. I have a gig. I could spend an hour practicing instead of running the show. Get double tapping away on the screen if you want the show to continue. I'm going to call the show early if we don't get a debate caller, because there's something about a short and sweet episode. I think it's good to have the occasional hour-long show that's really dense with good calls, and I might do just that if we don't get a caller in the next few minutes, because it would make my day today easier. And hey, I've got a gig. If you guys want to come see me, I'm going to be at the Boardwalk in Shakopee, doing a comedy show at 7:30. But I'm going to do a set of 5 songs at the beginning because I'm playing music for the show. So if you want to come to the Boardwalk and see some, hear some dick jokes, but see me play some guitar and hear me doing some singing, I will be at the Boardwalk, the stable in Shakopee, by the horse race track. So it's interesting to announce on here that I'm doing a gig, because I have had some people like show up and meet me in person from finding me online, which, I haven't been murdered yet, so it's going pretty well. But let's see, where are we? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Short and sweet show. If you're watching on YouTube, you already know, because you saw how long the video is. But that might be it today. I'm kind of in the mood for it. Stretch, I see you in the chat. Stretch, come talk. You can be the last caller of the day. Or we can talk for an hour and you can make the show a 2-hour show. Stretch says host is running. Stretch, here I am. You get to talk to me. I won't run if you get in the request box. Everybody on YouTube has already left because they know that you didn't do it. But I'm going to argue that you're running. But I'm not going to do friendly time for an hour. I am just gonna make the VOD short today because I have a gig to prep for. So that is the plan. Short show today. I think I deserve to do a short show, once a month or something. Seriously though, thanks for all of the thanks for all the donations and stuff. It's making my life easy, and my life has been hard for a super duper long time. So it's a pretty big deal that I get to really focus on this, because my life has become less stressful otherwise. But yeah, Stretch, going once, going twice. Guess the host is running because the guest didn't want to talk. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock, 10 to 12 Central Standard Time. Sorry for the short show today. I just have a gig that I want to prep for, and I want the short and sweet VOD on YouTube. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.